Hi, my name is Michelle Wilson, and I'm here with Eminem Film Talk, and we have a wonderful guest. Now, I want you to introduce yourself. Go right ahead.
My name is Brandon Scanavich. I'm a film producer. I am the host of the Hollywood Kickback, syndicated out of Los Angeles, California, and I'm so excited to be sitting next to Miss Michelle on Eminem Film Talk today.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for joining us. Let's talk about a little bit about some of the things that you're working on right now.
Well, of course, my show, the Hollywood Kickback,
Okay.
I started the Hollywood Kickback probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And it was so important to me to do it out in Los Angeles because, that's where a lot of my mentors and
Yeah.
I was, blessed to be able to work actively in the industry out on the West Coast upon relocating there. I'm originally from Memphis.
Okay.
And back in 2015, I actually relocated to San Francisco Bay Area where I got into comedy and got a chance to study dramatic arts up at Arts Institute. And I actually, what's funny is I actually moved there to pursue some things in music, television composition,
Yeah.
writing and things like that. And then I kind of tried my luck on the circus of the Bay Area comedy scene. And from there, transitioned into acting, got into some student film projects and was doing a lot of work for free. And then I was able to actually start making a little money from it. And, from there I began to hosting, because acting and comedy and hosting, it all kind of goes, hand in hand. I
Yes,
haven't
it
been
does.
fortunate enough to do anything like radio, but started hosting my show. So upon doing all of these different things in the industry, I began to build some amazing relationships. And a lot of times when you do projects, you have a tendency to lose touch with
Yeah.
people that you do the projects with. You may do a movie, and we see it in Hollywood all the time. I've got some mentors that'll tell me, and we have conversation. I say, hey, I remember when you did a such and such movie, and then they may say, well, I haven't talked to this person since we did the movie. And the movie's probably 20 years old. So it's important to me not only to build relationships, but to keep those relationships ongoing.
And is that easy to do though? Because that is a hard thing.
It's
to
very
keep the relationships going.
well. I think that keeping the relationships really just depends on availability and scheduling, because you and I cannot talk for 5 years. That doesn't mean something is wrong. We could possibly be just that busy.
Exactly.
And I think in the industry, that's a lot of times what it comes down to, is just that. And unless you're doing something like Fast and the Furious, where you have 9 or 10 of the movies,
Exactly.
it's forcing you're staying in touch by default, But even with that, look at all the things that happen in between those segments, So
And I'm sure they have a lot of other projects they're working on, so
absolutely be very difficult. But I mean, I don't believe in one-time business. I believe once we do business and do business well, and we have a chemistry developed, that we can continue to do business.
And I think that's probably the best way to do it, because a lot of times you don't have to relearn a person over and over again.
Right.
You learn it, and when you start a new project, you have to learn that different way that person is going to respond to your vision. And that makes it difficult sometimes when you have to. If you have to do it, that's great.
Right.
But if you don't have to do it, it will be a better thing.
Now, I think a lot of people choose the route of not having to do it. Let's not fix something that's not broken, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like about Tyler Perry, for example,
Yeah,
and a lot of
exactly
his
to
earlier
say that.
plays and movies. He used some of the same people, not necessarily because he couldn't go out and get other people, or other people weren't good for the job, but it was kind of a situation to where he found people that he worked well with, people that worked well with him, and it just fit together.
Now, a little bit about how you started this journey, because I know you said something about that you started out doing some things like that, but when you actually got with your actual talk show, what made you want to do the talk show?
Well, honestly, one of my mentors, Michael Burt, he said that when you begin to solve other people's problems, then they'll pay you for it. Now, I didn't start the show because of financial intention or anything like that, but I saw a need.
Okay.
And I saw a need in media. And before I saw the need, I have to observe. I believe that before you seek something else, you have to first observe and solidify what you already see before you begin to seek out seeing something else.
Exactly.
So what I saw in media was way more negativity than I saw some things that were positive.
Okay. And that can be discouraging to a lot of
It
people.
can. So when you see the Hollywood Kickback, it's shining a light on excellence in
Yes. I saw
entertainment.
your show is great.
You know, not necessarily black excellence or white excellence, but just excellence. And it's, because a lot of times artists and actors and models and people, a lot of times they deny press. They I've reached out to people like, hey man, can I come get you on the show? Well, Scanavich it's all love, but I'm not doing interviews right now because the media is so notorious for taking
it out.
What was not even meant to be bad and just making it that.
That's
so I really stress, and like before I talk to people, luckily for myself, the people that have been on my show are people that I've already worked with before an interview even came about.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, hey, you remember when you came to Memphis for me, or remember when we did this, listen, I got a show now. Let's come on, let's talk about that among some other things,
Exactly.
And once people are once they have a feel for you, they kind of know what you're about, where you stand.
Yeah.
They're more prone to kind of work with you and do things. So I said no. I'm gonna look at where I want to be, Hollywood, where I was fortunate, where I actively work in now, and I want to take people who are in this industry, and those are the people I want to center my show around.
Yeah.
Not saying you necessarily have to be a celebrity to be a guest. That's not what I'm saying. But it was something I said, you know what, this is what I want to do within. So I'll tell you how the first episode came about.
Okay.
Vanessa Simmons, who was the daughter of Reverend Ron Simmons, shout out to Run DMC, and the niece of Russell, shout out to Fat Farm, and everything else Russ has done. Vanessa's publicist and myself had worked together in the past.
Wow.
And for about 2 years, I had been telling her, listen, I'm shooting this film, I'm shooting this short film or this whatever. Hey, I want to get Vanessa on the show, or on the movie, or can we do a fashion show? Can we do a meet and greet with Vanessa? And we just could never seem, again, scheduling. When I was free, they were busy. We just could never get it together for like 2 years.
Wow.
So, Vanessa was doing Love and Hip Hop. She was doing. She had done some films, and they did the WE TV, the Growing Up Hip Hop and everything.
Yeah.
So one day I called her PR. I said, listen, we are doing this now. Right now. I said, send me the email you want me to send the details over to. We are doing this today, now.
And it made it happen.
So she's like, all right, let's do it now. So when we did the deal, and keep in mind the deal still almost didn't happen. When we did the deal, she was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I called in the camera crew. We was gonna do like, this is the first episode. We're gonna make it big.
Yeah.
So she calls me like 2 weeks before we're supposed to tape.
Okay.
She's like, Brandon, we got a situation. And she's like, Vanessa has a offer, and she's going to take it.
Yeah.
So can we move the interview? I was like, well, when do you want to move it? She's like, we got to do this like next week.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa. So now I'm in between a rock and a hard place. Now I got to try to get this crew and everything. I said, you know what? Scratch the crew. First episode, we're going to go unique. We're just going to do a Facebook Live, Because it's Vanessa Simmons, people are going to be willing to overlook the quality aspect of it, and they did. Yeah. So, and it turned out great. And from there, I started reaching out to other people, and a couple of the people that I had on the show, they had worked with Vanessa.
Wow.
And then the people from them had worked with that person. So again,
so it was like a connection line.
It is.
Wow.
It is. Everything that I've ever done in the industry, between events, project, whatever, it's always been tied or connected to one of my previous resources.
And that's good. That's
so
a good thing.
It's like a never-ending. The industry is big, but it's small.
Yeah.
So
So never burn bridges is what you're saying.
Not if you can help it. Not if you can help it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you might have to cross them again. And sometimes people make up their own minds, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna not like you just because somebody else doesn't like you.
And that's a good thing.
You know.
That's the best way to be.
And I think
that's the best way to be.
you know, I'm from Memphis, and I think there's a lot of that going on. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to work with you because you had a bad experience with this filmmaker.
Exactly.
And I know this filmmaker. So this filmmaker told me not to work with you because you and him had a situation.
That's crazy.
Things happen. Life happens.
And you don't know both sides. There's always two sides to a coin. Anyway.
Not in Memphis, it's not.
That part. But now tell me some of your challenges. I know it's some good times, and I know everybody, we have some hard times as well. So what are some of the challenges that you, Brandon, had?
The biggest challenge I had was when I relocated.
Okay.
I, moved 3,000 miles away from home, no family there.
Yeah.
Not really a plan, just a leap of faith.
Okay.
And trying to build a name without having a name.
Exactly.
That's how I know that it was all divine intervention. It was all meant to happen the way that it did.
Okay.
Because before moving, and going through hardships, being homeless and all that kind of stuff, and really having to get what I got out of the mud.
Oh, yeah.
So
never giving up on what your vision was.
Right,
your purpose.
Even times when I didn't even really know what that purpose was or what the vision was going to be.
Exactly.
So the biggest challenge overall has been getting people to take a chance on me when they don't know, and that's very rare because people are not like right now. If you do a project or something, and I deal with these people all the time, and no matter what they say, they want people who are already reputable. They want people who are already known. I sat at a meeting in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago, and they were like, this is great, but we don't know any of these people. Yeah. So, but the misperception is you don't need big actors, or you don't need names.
Not
you just
all the
need
time.
great people,
Exactly.
But it makes, and that may be the case to an extent, but it makes networks and it makes the higher ups jobs so easier. If you put together, if you say, we got a golf tournament coming up, and we need one more person, and then I say, well, I can play golf really well, I'll do it. But then Tiger Woods comes along and say, you know what, I'll do it.
Of course,
you're the Tiger.
One out. Yeah.
No questions.
Yes.
Because you know what he can do. So you're even though you're still taking a chance.
And people start tuning in only because of his name.
Exactly. People are not going to tune in to you if they don't know you.
Yeah.
It's good to
How
ask,
big is the billboard are you?
Right. You can sell 100 tickets. Of course, you can sell 100 tickets at home. That's why it's not something. I mean, anybody can sell out a play. Anybody can sell out a stage play in their hometown. Because you got Sister Sue and Mary Ann at the church. They coming to see their grandbabies in the play. People take that and then they try to exercise that mind in another market that's unknown to them. And that's a very dangerous ground to play in.
And that's why I like what you're saying here, because I know when you're actually trying to when you're independent, doing a film, and you got good actors out there and you want to use them, but they come on board and financially they want these high dollar pay for something that you can't put on the billboard.
Wow.
I mean, really, and I'm just being real about it. And instead of coming to you at the same level, because y'all are both here with the level of thinking and doing. So if they know that you're providing a platform for them to grow, then that's how you're going to grow. Let's do this together. I can't do Hollywood pay when you're not in Hollywood.
Well, that's the thing. People feel like they're bigger than what they are. And social media, I kind of blame for that to a percentage, because social media has allowed people to create these lives that they don't even live. I know people on TV right now that live in their car, their own network television.
Exactly.
They have reoccurring roles and they don't have a place to live. So we have to define what we're really chasing here.
Exactly.
It's like, so you can't demand, and that's why that's a very risky. And people that I mentor and people that I'm fortunate enough to advise, I mentor a group of collaborative creatives called the Core.
Okay.
And one thing that I instill in them is, it's all about perception, and it's really not about getting you seen. It's about getting you paid, and see whatever the highest peak or the highest level is.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I've noticed now. I've seen a lot of people, and I've actually taken offense to it in some ways. I've seen a lot of independent consumers and independent creators downplay Hollywood.
No.
They've done it because they've finally.
I was to say, why would you?
I can tell you since you asked.
Yeah.
They've woken up and they finally realized that Hollywood is a place that they'll never be able to work.
Wow.
They'll never be able to, not because they don't have the potential. It's for a number of reasons. Most of them don't listen. Most of them. And I tell people, you can't come into an industry demanding something. Oh, I'm gifted. I'm talented. And talent is that's the smallest part of making it.
Yes.
I know people who are not even good, but they're successful because they understand the business, the politics, the portion of it that negates that this is only a small part. There's so much more to being a model than the way you look. It's beautiful women everywhere.
And that's true.
Everywhere. So there's so much more. So you want to model. Okay, what do you bring other than physical appearance? You want to act. Okay, anybody can read a couple of lines. I know people that are successful that are in the box office and they're really not good actors. They haven't had any training.
Exactly.
All that, but they're making it. There's a reason why. So this is what happens. They say, you know what? We're not gonna make the Hollywood. So then they got this thing now. They got this saying now. Since I'm from Memphis, I can say this. They say Memphis is the new Hollywood. I'm gonna tell you why that's a bad thing to say.
Okay.
It's a bad thing to say because before Hollywood became the place to be, nobody sat around on Mulholland Drive saying, "Hey, we need to make this the next New York. Or we need to make this the next Miami." No, we're gonna make this what we want it to be.
And that's it.
We're gonna make Hollywood. Broadway didn't say, "Hey, we're gonna make Broadway the next Hollywood." We're gonna make Broadway. So for all of my Memphians out there, that's you don't have a desire to move to Los Angeles. Fine, nobody's mandating you to move.
No,
but don't try to downplay Hollywood just because that's not your desire. Just say Memphis is the next Memphis. Craig Brewer is still here in Memphis.
Yes, he is.
He's not walking around saying, "Yeah, Memphis will do Hollywood." No. He goes out to Hollywood. He does what he does. He comes back to Memphis, and whatever he implements here in Memphis is what he does and pertains it to Memphis.
Exactly.
So if Craig Brewer, on the level that he's on, if he's not walking around saying Memphis is the new Hollywood, at least I've never heard him say it.
No.
Then
the only thing I've heard him say, because I met him, we met him at one of the festivals here, and only thing he says is Memphis got great things here, and you can be creative here as well as Hollywood. Now he said that, but that's not saying Memphis is the next Hollywood either.
Right.
It's got some things. I mean, it's great things in all cities.
I think people should be.
Do.
I think people should stop. I'm gonna tell you one of the worst mistakes I've seen people do. I've seen people be dishonest to others.
Yeah.
To spare, I don't know, their feelings or, Listen, when I toured with Brandon T. Jackson and when I was fortunate enough to work closely with Michael Blacks and all that, listen, there were nights I got off of stage. Honest, true story. We did a show out in Punchline, Sacramento. I got a standing ovation. Walked to the green room, I was feeling great. And Brandon said, You think you did good, huh? I said, well, they standing up, they clapping,
Pat.
And he said, now I'm about to tell you everything you did wrong.
Okay.
And that outweighed, so
wow.
I'm like, whoa. He was honest with me, and I was I really wasn't discouraged, but I was like, man, that hurt, But he was honest with me.
But that was a learning experience.
It was. So then when I came back, I've been booed before, so Then when I got back into some of those situations that I was booed, I was able to really excel. I was able to really, really hit put the nail in the coffin because I took what he said. The worst thing you could do is be dishonest with someone, not to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
When I walked into this studio today, I asked a particular question. I'm not going to say what that question was, but the answer was no. So okay, for whatever reason. Now, if you would have told me yes because we don't want to tell them no because no, that was no. Now I understand, and going forward, whenever working in this situation scenario or whatnot, I know how to go about that particular thing. But you'll handicap people like that, and nobody's asking you, I wanted to be the next Kevin once upon a time or the next, but not anymore. I mean, because what I have is much different. What he has is different. And
you have to create you. I mean, you're creative. What about you? It's okay to you admire someone and you say, well, I would like to probably do some things. And I'll take some of what he's doing, I'll take some of what that person is doing, and I'm going to help mold myself to be who I am. Because that's all you can do. You can't just mimic someone else, because what if they go wrong? And then how would you guide yourself? So.
And I think that someone asked me the other day, what do I feel like the film industry is lacking? Or the entertainment industry is lacking? And I said originality.
Okay.
I feel like original content. When I look at some people from all over, when I look at them, my mind automatically goes to someone else. Those are some of the things you have to look at. So within creating and curating that brand and that persona and that niche and that identity, do it. Even if people like what you're doing, if it's not you, then
how can you hold up? How can you keep it up? If it's not you, it's going to be hard to just do it. I mean, it's acting. You're
going to be stressed. You're going to be stressed because you're going to be too busy being someone that you're not you. And
that's hard.
And I see it all the time, like on Instagram. People who buy followers and buy likes and stuff. You have to have, and the number of likes, comments, and followers should not be the thing that pushes
drives you to whatever you're trying to accomplish.
I'm worried about the number on my bank statement. 100,000. You chasing 100,000 followers. I'm chasing $100,000.
Yeah.
We are not the same.
We're trying to keep it real here. So I'm really loving what he's saying because Brandon is keeping it real here on Eminem Film Talk. And I just want to say one thing too. If you want to be on Eminem Film Talk, all you have to do is email me, Michelle Wilson, at eminemfilmtalk@gmail.com, and I would love to share your journey as well as go on our YouTube channel. Just tune in to our YouTube channel and ring the bell. Our YouTube channel is Eminem Film Talk, Wilson Production. And just ring the bell, and you can just subscribe to our page and hear about a lot of other good things that's happening on Eminem Film Talk as well. But I tell you, I'm going to ask you some more questions about the fact that some of those deep things that you want to talk about as far as you doing an actual production. What's some of the things that you're pet peeved about having going on when you're filming and all of that? When you actually have shows.
My pet peeves actually start before we even roll the cameras.
Okay.
You put a casting out there and you tell people to submit for it. And then they send stuff like selfies for headshots. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
They want to be paid, but they don't have a demo reel or they don't know how to slate. They've never heard of slating. They don't know what slating is. So you're demanding money. You want a dressing room. You want to be flew out. All this kind of stuff. And you haven't gathered the basics. So all of this kind of stuff the pet peeves actually start before we even yell action. Do
that make you want to? Do you take okay, I'm scratching you off because of some of those reasons, or what make?
Luckily, well, not luckily, but fortunately for some people, I'm not I'm not a big as a jerk as some people may believe, but
Okay.
I'll enlighten you. I'm a part of an organization, and in the organization, you know, they're really serious about knowing what you're supposed to know. So I was talking to an older brother one day, and he said, you know, back in the older days, people would get aggressive with you if you didn't know your stuff. But he said, but now, if a younger brother doesn't have it, you need to be able to give it to him. So
Exactly.
I'll tell a person, okay, hold on a second, this is not right. This is how this should be.
Okay.
Now, I don't have the power to, you know, keep you from elevating to an extent, but you don't want to get in front of Robbie Reed and not know how to slate or not know what slating is. So you know, practice make perfect. You will perform the way you practice. So
Exactly.
stop jumping in front of a camera every time somebody says, let's shoot, and get the business under you.
So get some knowledge behind
Get
what
some-
you're doing.
get some
You know,
knowledge.
if that's what you're saying, that I am an actor or I'm a writer or whatever, I'm a creative, do your research.
Well, Don Cheetah said that someone came to him and said, hey, I want to be an actor. And his response was, do you want to be an actor or do you want to be famous? Because if you want to be an actor, are you training? Are you involved in local stage plays? Are you working on monologues?
Exactly.
Are you studying scenes? All of that is a part of acting. I know actors who make $300,000-$400,000 a year and they've never been on TV, but they're actors.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people don't want to be actors. They just want to be famous. They want to be seen. They want to
Seen
be on
all
the
the
red
time.
carpet. They want that star. You know, so if you want to be famous, okay, just say I want to be famous. We got other ways to get you famous. We can get you a channel up.
Yeah.
I can call in a couple of influencers.
Yeah.
We can get some. You can get you a cologne. We can get you some celebrity attachment to your
Yeah.
fragrance and stuff. We got ways to get you famous
But they think the easiest way is to be an actor and in their eyes.
because they see the reach that
Uh-huh.
acting has. You know what I'm saying? They see that reach.
Yeah. And they don't really understand the journey.
You're getting in the way, and a lot of times I don't even take people serious anymore. That's just what it's come down to. Had a young lady come to me and said, "Hey, my dream is to go to Broadway." I said, "How long you been acting?" She said, "I've been acting 7 years." I said, "Well,
Okay.
when's the last time you visited New York?" She said, "Well, I've never been to New York." You want to be on Broadway? You've been acting 7 years. You've
All
never
right.
taken a trip to New York to network. You've never
And
watched
she's
the
taking other vacations.
yeah,
so
you've
she
never
should
watched a
put that
Broadway
in there.
play. You've never networked with people who've been on Broadway. Dr. Hicks is the queen of black theater. I can call Dr. and you get some training. You don't have to go to New York. Skype session. Wendy Wright does Skype.
Yes, she
It's
does.
ways to do this.
And it's easier to do it that way now since you got the internet.
You got it. So if
it's-
you're not
it's
doing
so
any
easy.
of that,
Yeah.
I can't understand how you expect for me to take you serious as someone who expresses to me that this is what you want to do. It's great to get both sides of it because I see people who, when they are fortunate enough to be a part of a film, you can't tell that they're not on the stage. You can't act on camera as if you were on stage and
No.
vice versa. You know, there's a difference.
And it's a
the only way
major
you're gonna
difference.
only way you're gonna know how to go about separating the two is if you have knowledge on both. So
It is the best you can be. Well, I'm going to take a break here. I'm having a ball.
I ain't
He's just spilling everything out there and keeping it real for us here on Eminem Film Talk. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back on Eminem Film Talk. But we're talking to Brandon and he's keeping it real. Well, everyone, if you would like to be a guest on Eminem Film Talk, all you need to do is email us at mnmfilmtalk@gmail.com. Also, to contact our studio guest, Brandon Scanavich, just email him at the email address that's below on the screen, or you can message him on Facebook. Brandon Scanavich, he is doing great things. So don't go anywhere because he has so much more to share. All right, we are back with Eminem Film Talk, and we're talking to real people in film. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you know they need to plug routes. That's one thing that I think you should take advantage of.
Plug Routes. Plug Routes is a third-party service that I started to help individuals take advantage of what we've done. I really believe that we've revolutionized travel. To me, what we've done with travel is equivalent to what Ray Kroc did with McDonald's. You know,
Wow.
we just taken it and really just expanded it.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't, at the peak of it, you know, Plug Routes is something that was established and it blossomed overnight, and then within the next night it was like down because of the state of our economy and what's going on in society right now.
Can't travel much.
Right, so
now.
it really like, and, you know, and people who can travel, you know, we just have a lot working against us with, you know, the said virus and things like that. But Plug Routes is, our slogan is home of the $67 round trip.
And I think that's what grabbed my eye real, because when you're trying to travel and you're trying to make a vacation work for you and fit into your budget, one thing you get discouraged about is because the flights are so expensive. So you're like, now I got to do this and I got to do that. But you saying $67 and I can make it to point A to B, I'm loving that.
Confirmed, no standby, no buddy pass, is confirmed.
Wow.
And I've actually been doing it for the past couple of years because in entertainment, you know, especially when I was doing comedy, first started doing comedy, you have situations where you'll miss out on the opportunity simply because you can't get there.
Yes.
And then you could be at home at 10 o'clock at night and get an email and say, hey, we need you in LA at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Or we need you in Atlanta. Call time is at 6, you know. For those people who are currently not doing what they love to do full time, they still may have a set 9 to 5 or something like that. They have to get babysitters. They have to, you know, take off work, and you know, a lot of times you just can't do that.
You can't.
So what I did was, I feel like there's a way to decode everything. Now that sounds illegal, but it's not. What I mean by decode is, I just found like whatever you can do for $20, there's a way to do it for 10.
Okay.
Somewhere,
That's
some
it.
shape, some form, some fashion. There's a way to do it on a more convenient scale.
Okay.
So with Plug Routes, we just found a way, you know, with all of my travels, I've got a chance to meet some amazing people, some people that have, you know, overseen a lot of these companies, airlines. I've got a chance to eat Thanksgiving dinner with a lot of CEOs and bosses, people in some pretty big places. And if I was married to someone and I own an airline, she would be paying $400 or $500 for a flight. That alone lets me know it's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So upon meeting and growing and connecting and just kind of trialing myself, you know, because I've been to 46 of the 50 states. So in a way of just trialing myself over the past 2 to 3 years, to make sure that what I wanted to do worked. And keep in mind, I never planned to make a business out of this thing.
Okay.
This was just something I wanted to help a couple of close friends.
Yeah.
To get from
sharing what you knew.
If you needed an audition or something like that. You know, I've got a buddy now, his name is Bobby. And you know, he's an actor, and when Bobby gets ready to travel, you know, he just sends me money like, hey, I'm wiring you this amount, you know, I gotta get here, I gotta get there, you know.
Okay.
So that's how we work. But Plug Routes, you know, since I didn't expect to make it a business, the business aspect of it began to boom rapidly.
Wow.
So we've had to go about getting all the legitimacy and the procedures and stuff done in the process of people still booking flights. You know, as of 2 weeks ago, I had about 45 confirmed flights, you know, across the entire United States from now until the first week of April. I've had about the last week of April, we had about 45 to 50 confirmed flights that, of course, have all had to be, you know, postponed and credited and things like that because, of course, upon starting Plug Routes, we had no idea that our, you know, economy was about to take this hit.
Take a hit. I mean, everybody got affected by the coronavirus, and we don't know what the end will be on this, but of course we have faith in God. We know we'll be okay.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of businesses are being hit by it.
And it's
because
so bad
what are some of the places where your Plug Route? What is their travel?
We're currently in 27 cities plus Jamaica and Puerto Rico.
Wow.
As of November, we'll be able to service from Memphis and Miami. We'll be able to service to Montego Bay, Jamaica for $67.
Oh, now
round trip.
you know I'm loving that,
You know,
right?
You know, we ran.
What about Hawaii? Have you?
We do have Hawaii. We
my
service
God.
Honolulu from 5 places.
See.
We do have. I mean, we've done the comparisons, the Expedia, hotline, Hotwire, the Priceline, the Cheapo Air.
And they're not that cheap.
Now, right now, flights are cheap, but nobody's traveling, so it really doesn't.
Who's going anywhere?
Yeah, so we're gonna still.
You don't even want to go to the store nowadays.
So we're gonna still be home of the $67 round trip flight, and we've got some people with confirmed flights in like August and September.
Okay.
We're working on. We have a loyalty program. We're working on some things for all of my Dallas Cowboy fans that are in Memphis. I know, like the Dallas and Pittsburgh got this big game in the fall. You'll be able to fly out. You'll be able to hop on a flight after church, go down there and see the Cowboys play, come right back, be back in time for work on Monday.
That's what I'm talking about.
So hopefully.
Okay, so now I also too want to see, what do you want to see happen for you in the future? How do you see yourself growing? What do you want to see yourself doing?
Well, I want to see myself constantly growing.
Okay.
Building relationships, making these amazing connections. Over the past 6 months to a year, I've kind of rerouted my focus.
Yeah.
I stopped chasing fame. I stopped chasing it, and I just kept chasing the wealth, and I kept chasing the passion. Because I don't care how much money you make doing something. If you don't enjoy doing it, it's kind of like, there's no greater point or purpose with it.
Yeah,
I like to see, those relationships that have been tainted or broken for myself and other creators and other entertainers for whatever reason, because it's a lot of people that I have problems with, and I don't know what the problem is. Whether in my hometown, out in California, or not really in California, but I would like to see more togetherness. I would like to see more people come together. There's enough sun to shine on everybody.
It definitely.
If you got a niche, make good on your niche.
Exactly.
Stop following people that are not pouring back into you, because it's not, and most people won't, this. Most people say, oh, he's just hating, or no, I'm not hating. And this interview, anything that I've said in this interview, this is not directed toward any group of people or one person. This is just what I see.
And you're sharing that, and that's a good thing. And people need to know that.
They need to. When you try to inform someone, and you may try to help someone, one of the first questions people want to know is, well, what have you done? Or what have you done that you can tell me something? Well, here's the thing. You may not feel that I've done anything, but guess what? Go check out the Hollywood Kickback. Or go check out I'm with people on a daily that have done box office stuff.
Exactly.
And these are not people that I sit down with for 15 minutes. No, I know people. I know Michael Blackson. I know Shar Jackson. I know Cherry Johnson.
And you had a wonderful interview with Shar Jackson just recently.
I love Shar.
Awesome.
I love Shar.
I love that interview.
She
is
is
great.
She's keeping me. She's keeping me. I know they're gonna do this Moesha reboot. She's keeping me. She's trying to keep me out of the loop of that, cause But I know they go. But Sharp. But again, big sister, big brother situation. Whenever something's not right, because not only should you have a mentor, but your mentor should have a mentor.
Exactly.
So if something doesn't sit well with me in my ear, I'm calling Sharp. I'm calling Golden Brooks. I'm reaching out to Vanessa. I reached out to Vanessa Simmons not too long ago, something that I saw, and I was like, hey, have you heard of this? Have you heard of it? Oh yeah, they good. They good. They legit.
Yeah, because you want someone to be able to take you and inform you, because you can go down the wrong road.
Right.
And that's with independence, especially because you got a great film that you put together, and now you're trying to package it, and you put it out there, and some distributor grab you up and make buku money off you, and you don't see a dime of it, and now you had your baby that you put everything into, and you got nothing in return.
There's a lot of that going on. People got movies in Walmart right now, but only people that's getting the money is the
distributor.
If you got, meanwhile, your movie,
it's off the charts.
You got a movie that's in Walmart or Target or Best Buy or whatever, and it's next to Denzel or Will Smith's last movie. Will is getting money from his movie being in there. So while you should be getting money, I don't care what they told you.
That's it.
You should be if you are a part of a distribution that in depth, they'll come in, boom, and
take everything,
take under your feet everything that you sacrificed to work, so all the money, and you almost 400 episodes of independent content. You can imagine the time and the money and everything that's went into that
They
company.
invest a lot into it.
Gone. You know, I never want to be in a place. I will not be in that position. You know.
So watch your back. I mean, that's what you're saying, and really research what you're going into at the beginning. Get your paperwork done, cross every T and dot every I, because you and get those legit legal behind you, so you can have somebody to support you, so you can have a voice.
Yeah, get great representation. The talent should focus on being the talent. You know, you need your management, your PR, your whatever, your attorney, whatever. Get all those things in place. Once you're solidified and established, a lot of people just started acting. If you just started acting, you don't need a manager. You don't have anything to manage.
Yeah,
you know,
you can manage that yourself.
Yeah. So, but once things start happening, and once you start, establishing yourself and being identified as that talent and growing, going through the ropes and the realms, start putting people in place. Tyler Perry has people in place to handle every single intricate of his business.
So he can continue to get those creative things out there for you to view.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have to worry about that. He's not trying to do every job. He knows there's a job to be done, and he's trying to put people in place to do it.
Now, he will take on multiple hats, though, as we see. He writes. He writes everything. He has no writer's room. He writes everything. He produces everything. He'll bring in an executive producer, but he's the main man. He's the main producer. He's the main guy. So, and I just want to throw up a ping in there.
Okay.
2 things I want people to look out for. I just want people to keep the Mighty Ducks in mind, and I want people to keep the Bad Boys franchise in mind.
Yeah.
And I just leave it at that. Keep the Mighty Ducks in mind. And keep the Bad Boys franchise in mind. If
good things may be coming down the pipe for that.
If you watch Bad Boys 3, then you see the number of times they hint at a continuation.
Yes.
You really don't know. I mean, they're older now. They're in their 50s now, so it's like what more can be done? But the hints are there.
Yes.
But definitely Bad Boys and the Mighty Ducks. Like keep those 2 in mind. just that, and then remember this interview.
Oh, for sure. Definitely remember this interview, because Brandon has given us so many wonderful things that we can all take away and use. And that's what we want to do. He shared. He doesn't mind giving his viewpoint and his experience and giving it to us. And that's one thing, too. I say a closed fist or closed mouth never get fed. So he's not a closed mouth. He's openly giving us and sharing with us everything we need to know. I am so happy and proud that you took the time out, because I know you're busy going back and forth, and took the time out and came down here and actually sat with us. Well, everyone, we want to say that we love you. And keep having faith in God, and He will show you the way. Definitely want to get that word out to each and every one of the family people who are out there suffering, or even have loved ones who may be out there. M&M Film Talk love you and wish you all the best. Thank you so much for tuning in to M&M Film Talk, where we talk to real people in film. Peace out. M&M Film Talks would like to share their prayers for the victims of COVID-19 and their family members. We know that the world is going through so much with this virus, but we would like everyone to keep the faith.